Hey, welcome. This is Podcast Pete, and we have a special podcast for you. I'm going to give you three lessons, tips, or things that I've learned through almost over 100 podcasts. And I think it's important because today's way we reach our ideal clients is it's so noisy out there. There's so many things going on. There's the old media, there's the new media, there's so many choices. And I think businesses have to really zero in on what gives them the most value. And so, in our model of podcasting, think of it as the new media. You don't have to look very far or be aware of what's going on to know that podcasting is taking over the way people will, I guess, say, digest their news, digest their information. And not everybody's a Joe Rogan or a Megyn Kelly or a Tucker Carlson or people that have massive followings. So if you're just starting out in podcasting, how do you get your story, your message out to the market? Well, I'm going to share three tips, and I hope this will serve you. If you're a business owner, right now, we serve the majority is through the senior living community. I'm here at Overture, 55 and older, right in Kennesaw, next to Academy Sports and Hobby Lobby. So it's a 55 and older, 4-story building. And so this is where our studio is. But I'm going to give you three tips I want you to kind of take home from this podcast. So if you're a business out there that serves the senior community, you're going to want to pay close attention to this because everybody is trying to get and grow their business. And if you don't pick the right things, because 50% of marketing works and 50% doesn't. And when I had a digital marketing agency, I used to always say, you got to find out the 50% that works quickly and then put your efforts, your time, and your resources to that 50%, because you're going to be testing things, and you always test in marketing. You always test because things change and you have to see what resonates with your ideal clients. So let me give you three. I'm going to put this banner up so you can see what it is. And that way we're going to go through it, and I want you to have a good idea. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Okay, hold on here. Let me get it. That's here we go. All right. Okay. So the three ways to grow your podcasting. And this is what I've learned in my podcast. You solve problems. Now, what do I mean by solve problems? When you have podcast guests on, you are learning so much. And I guess when you grow up with a dyslexic problem-solving brain, it's wired to solve problems. It's just the way, you have to be dyslexic to understand dyslexic. But you can look at people that have done very well in the dyslexic community per se, that have it and that have had experience with it. I'm trying to think of it. The Richard Brownson. I mean, he's famous for what he's accomplished, and has told everybody. I mean, he's dyslexic. So the key to it is your brain is wired a certain way. And if you can do the one thing that you're really good at and not be doing these other stuff, you develop over time a problem-solving mind. So when I have guests on, I am learning at such a rapid pace. I'm seeing problems solved right there on the podcast. And I think I just had a person asking me 50 questions about why this, why that, why this. I have no problem asking why, but there's a point that you're not going to understand everything. But you have to kind of see that, hey, podcasting works. Everybody's doing it. It's not like it's a secret, but how you do it and how it can help grow your business can make a big difference. So I am solving problems as I'm talking to guests. I'm doing it at a rapid pace because the more podcasts you have, the more belief systems that you're able to shatter. And that's really life because we have certain belief systems. And if we can't always challenge those based on the new information that we're getting exposed to, we'll hold on to old beliefs, which could be a belief that, oh, podcasting doesn't work. Now, if you held on to that belief, you'd be seriously missing the boat. But if you discovered new things and were able to see how it could work, changing your belief system, you'll change the way you make decisions. So solving problems at a rapid rate is absolutely, if I had to say one thing, that has been the biggest thing that I have discovered. And I remember watching or listening to a podcast, and the gentleman, he came on the scene. He's in the health and fitness or health arena. He's a scientist out of Stanford University. And he would always publish these papers, the medical journals. Well, the trouble with that model, it takes time for people to digest it. But when Dr. Peter Attias asked him, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? He didn't hesitate 1 second. He said, podcasting. And he said, why? He said, well, I'm able to get so many different viewpoints. It helps shape my belief system, and it helps me move at a faster pace than a published medical journal. So when you think about it, he could have 10 different guests on with different viewpoints, and he's learning from them, plus the viewers are learning. So it's a win-win-win when you come to who's benefiting by a podcast. And then, of course, you develop a liking to a certain podcast because it's in the niche that you want to learn something. But if I want to learn something, I just search, find a podcast, and start learning. If it's good, I continue to listen. And you'll always hear people say, if you like this podcast, subscribe. So, the more people that listen, certainly the better. So that gives you the ability to reach your ideal client by the information that you provide to your viewers. And it's all value. You always want to focus on the value that you get. So the second one, your strategic partners that you invite on, you're building relationships with. When you spend 20 to 30 minutes with somebody and you're learning about their story, there is an accelerated ability to build a relationship. A business card, a flyer, doesn't tell you much about a person, but a person's story, why they got into the business they're in, what drove them, what motivated them to get into that business, you find that out on the podcast. So the relationship you get with your guests, and if you strategically invite people that you can surround yourself with, you build relationship with what we call strategic partners. Now, this isn't just me. My partner, Jeff Bourgeois, who's up in Canada, is an absolute marketing genius. And so he had told me, Pete, just do podcasting. And I found the one thing I love. So you've heard from Gary Keller, from Keller Williams, The One Thing. That's a book that's been very popular. He talks about find the one thing. Find the one thing, not 50 things. We all have a tendency to be a multitasker. And just the person I was talking to, she's working on 3 markets. I said, break it down to 1. And she asked all these questions because she's all over the place. She doesn't have focus. So she's not able to get what she wants out of each day because she's just a shotgun in the market. You can't be a shotgun in the market. You have to be a precise, targeted, focused effort towards your ideal client. And a lot of people don't know who their ideal client is. So you have to find that out at first. And then the third thing is really collaboration with a book. Now, what do I mean by that? If you have a chapter in a book with 19 other businesses that are similar to yours, saying you're servicing the senior community and you have services that'll benefit people, your story, your chapter is in a book that 20 other people are collaborating and sharing. So I don't know if you're familiar with BNI, it's Business Network International. They get together on a weekly basis and they build relationships with everybody in the room to educate people to go out and hear things when they out in the marketplace. Hey, I need a carpet cleaner. I have one. I'm looking for a plumber. I have one. So if you become a good resource and can provide quality referrals, because your reputation's on the line when you refer somebody. So the first thing that a person that doesn't have a relationship with you will ask is, what's your price? The last thing a person will do if it comes from a credible source is the price. They want to know how you're going to solve their problem. So the person that gives you the referral sees you on a weekly basis. So there's accountability. If it doesn't work out, it comes back to you. You're the referral. So you consider your reputation when you're referring a person to somebody. So it works. A warm referral is much better than a cold. I had a person that cold called, and it was like every day cold calling. Whoa, I did that one years back. That's not the easiest thing to do. That's probably the lowest form of conversion because they don't know you. You're interrupting them at the time. Say you're knocking on business doors. Well, you got to knock on a lot of doors and you got to get a lot of no's. But if you can do it differently, you'll move faster, you'll grow your business, and you'll get the momentum. Because if you don't have speed in the market today, good luck. Because we're moving fast. We're moving real fast. Just look at AI, look at technology. It's accomplishing things faster. So your business model better be built on quality and speed to market. So this collaborative book is 20 stories in a book that benefits every single person. So when you want to share something with somebody, you share 20 people. 20 people sharing 20. I mean, you can understand the power of leverage. And that's basically what it is. You're leveraging your time and you're leveraging a resource, a book, to put it in the hands of people that can benefit. Maybe they go to your chapter. Maybe you send them to a different chapter and say, look, there's a lady that they have an incredible concept, Go Med Health. And I just talked to her a few minutes ago. So that story, if told enough by these other people, is going to create business. And that's what you have to do. You have to have people telling your story in the marketplace. They know if you tell the story when you're calling on somebody, it's going to be biased. But if somebody else is telling your story, it's not the biased nature of where it's coming from. It's somebody sharing a good concept. And we've had some really cool guests on, and they have some incredible stories and services that are available out there. But I tell you, if you're a best kept secret in business, it's like winking at a good looking girl in the dark. Only you know the wink. That person doesn't know. Or I used to tell people, like, your website is like a billboard in the desert. If you don't have traffic, and traffic in the desert is scarce. So it doesn't matter if you have a pretty website if nobody's coming to it. So the number one goal, the number one objective for any business is get business, and get it in such a way that it grows your business. Don't worry about making everything perfect. Get business first. Then you can have your nice website or other things. But the number one objective of every business owner, better, how do I acquire good quality business at a rate that I can grow? Now, I hope this benefited you. I wanted to do 15 minutes with you, give you 3 tips. So let's go over the 3 tips. 3 tips to grow your business using podcasting. You're solving problems, so you're accelerating your learning of the ability to see a person's business and see where the problems are or where your problems are. It's both ways. You're building quality relationships with strategic partners. So you're inviting those people to be on your podcast. And then the last thing, you're collaborating with a storybook. And 20 people you're helping. Givers are giving. And I tell you, this community is a giving community. If we can be of any service to you, let me give you a place to, here we go. There we go. There's my number. It's direct. Ooh, here, let me go above it. You can see the golf clubs back. Ooh, here we go. Shailene gave that. And Jeff, they gave me that original painting. Yes. And so you can go to podcasterpkane.com and you can see some of our past podcasts on there and see any information that you need. If you have a service that serves the senior community and you want to be a guest on the podcast, then just call me. Call me direct. Thank you so much for your time. And if this is something that you can share with somebody that may be struggling, may not get the traction in the marketplace, and you want to help them, let them know about what we're doing and how we're serving the community. Thank you so much.